Today, we're going to learn about the most American of kings. No, I don't mean Elvis Presley, and I don't mean Budweiser. I mean the king of marches, John Philip Sousa. John Philip Sousa's father played trombone in the official marching band of the United States Marines, and Sousa grew up hearing and loving that music. He learned to play lots of instruments and then began composing marches himself. This marching music has a very specific style. Military bands used to be used for helping soldiers know what the commands were across a large distance during a battle. However, in more modern times, marches are used to help soldiers march to a steady beat in a strict formation. They also inspire feelings of patriotism or love for your country when heard. You'll hear loud brass instruments like trumpets, booming drums, and sweet woodwinds like flutes and piccolos soaring over the top of all of that. Sousa is called the King of Marches because not only did he become the conductor of America's own United States Marine Band, but because he wrote more than 130 marches. Many of them are very famous, like the Stars and Stripes Forever and Semper Fidelis. Now let's learn more about Sousa's life.
John Philip Sousa, the March King, was born November 6, 1854 in Washington, D.C., to a German mother and Portuguese father. He grew up amongst his 10 brothers and sisters, living near the Marine barracks as his father played the trombone in the U.S. Marine Band. His father's musical passion led to John's curiosity toward music at a very young age. At the age of 6, he began to study violin. He went on to play piano, trombone, flute, cornet, baritone, alto horn, and was a vocalist. When he was 13, he ended his grammar school education in Washington, then enrolled into a private conservatory of music which he attended for several years. Also, he studied privately with famous composers such as George Felix Benkert. By the age of 13, Sousa wanted to permanently have music in his life, so his father enlisted him as an apprentice in the Marine Band, where he would play amongst the many talented musicians in the Marine Corps.
He started in the Marine Band, in the President's own Marine Band. He actually conducted that band for 12 years. And then he was so good at it, people said, look, you need to do your own thing. So he actually left and did his own thing. He has written more marches than almost any other composer if you added them all up.
After the Marines, Sousa began to travel, playing in orchestras throughout Philadelphia and Washington. He became director of the orchestra at a variety house in Washington. It was during this time he wrote his most renowned pieces such as The Stars and Stripes Forever, The Washington Post, The High School Cadets, and The Gladiator. By 1880, he was famed for his work as a conductor, composer, and arranger. It was around the peak of his popularity when John Philip Sousa stated, "Anybody can write a music of a sort, but touching the public heart is quite another thing." That's exactly what he did through his music. Not only did his pieces spark the world's love and admiration for music, they were also a stable example of American pride. His patriotic pieces for the U.S. brought Americans together. This led to his appointment as the U.S. military band leader, where he would shape the band into the finest military band of the world for 12 years of his life.
To this day, a concert band is not considered good unless you play a Sousa march. And the Marine Band currently has now released, because his marches now are becoming all public domain, they have released his marches for free for school bands and anyone and county bands to play. Reason being that Sousa was, besides being a great conductor and a great musician, he was a champion for music education, and everywhere he went, he really spoke out for music education, the importance of music.
Throughout Sousa's career as a composer, conductor, and arranger, he accomplished far more than any other musical figure at this time. Dedicating his whole life to music, he was able to compose over 136 Marine marches, as well as many other classical-styled compositions. Many of Sousa's pieces are honored today and are still played by bands all over. Sousa, overall, was the most influential band director at his time.
A musical historian states, Sousa's natural talent, coupled with the stimulating environment in which he was raised, has caused historians to remark that his development as the prime example of a musical patriot was a natural one, and that he was obviously born at the right time and place in history. Sousa's performances and techniques revolutionized concerts and marching bands. His pieces will forever be honored and live within the musical realm.
Today, for your listening assignment, you'll listen to his march, The Washington Post, which was named after a contest the Washington Post newspaper sponsored. Record, draw, or type what listening to this music makes you think of. You'll find the assignment on Seesaw.